Stepping from our ordinary world into the fantastical, Immersive XP explores the weird and wonderful imaginations behind a diverse range of themed experiences. From virtual reality to escape rooms to live-action roleplay, nothing is off the table. We'll take a deep dive into what makes these adventures worth attending and which ones to avoid. Join me on a journey to explore the extraordinary and meet the people who make dreams a reality. Hello, I am Taylor Ford, your non-binary host based in Southern California. Seamstress by trade, silly little guy by trauma. Favorite candy is anything that combines chocolate and peanut butter. Fun fact of the week. Originally, bubble tea referred to the bubbles created on top of the drink when ingredients were shaken together. Now bubble tea and boba tea are used interchangeably to refer to tapioca balls at the bottom of the drink. Whatever name you call this tasty beverage, I'm having a hard time keeping up with all the new shops popping up. Let me know what your favorite is. This week's episode is a Feed Me a Tale, which is exploring any kind of food or drink related experience. I gotta say, the location that I visited today is one of the most conflicting places that I've been to since I visited a certain Star Wars bar back in 2016. If you know, you know. This episode is about Elixir Wizard Academy, which is a fantasy-themed speakeasy, but no alcohol is served. Instead, a variety of boba teas and ice creams. I was really excited coming to this themed speakeasy because I think it's great to have a place that is that speakeasy vibe without needing to have alcohol. I had a lot of people recommend it to me. And as I was doing my research, I got a little bit of the red flags because if you're in the queer and trans community like I am, seeing a lot of heavy Harry Potter advertisements on social media kind of pings the danger thoughts, because you're like, hey, am I gonna be welcome at this bar? Considering who the author is behind those books. But I tried it out. I wanted to see if my concerns were valid or what they have to say about it. So about the bar, the Elixir Boba Tea Bar and Enchanted Ice Cream is located in Costa Mesa next to the Triangle Square, and for you locals, you know how terrible the traffic is there. They had their grand opening October 2023 after moving from Laguna Hills. The speakeasy is open only in the evenings and are closed on Mondays and Tuesdays. They also sell annual memberships for $100, which includes a secret menu, discounts, free access to monthly themed events, access to their VIP room, and more. They also host trivia nights and themed events pretty frequently. They were kind enough to let me try their flight of various beverages. Normally this is a members only thing, but I appealed to their sense of kindness and they let me have a flight so I could try 4 of their drinks. So 2 of them were drinks that are on their normal menu and 2 of them are members only, which I felt very honored to be able to try those. The first one I tried was the Dragon's Breath, which is a chamoy, spicy, fruity sweet with yummy fruit jellies at the bottom. This I really enjoyed. The only thing that I didn't really like is how sweet it was, and the jellies are square, so it was a bit difficult to sip through the straw. Even though they gave me the big boba straw, it didn't really work out too well. The other one I tried, which is also on their normal menu, is the Draven, and this is their signature matcha with boba drink. Very sweet. The matcha flavor is pretty muted, which is surprising considering how sweet the drink is. And the boba itself is actually pretty good. Their Jedi chai is their members only chai, and this has boba in it. Honestly, this is one of the better chais that I've had going to a boba shop, and the flavor and sweetness is pretty mellow, but delightfully refreshing. The Fairy's Kiss which happened to be my personal favorite, is also on the members-only menu. It is lightly sweetened jasmine rose tea, and it doesn't have any boba in it, but it is refreshing and helped me calm a little bit. So going into the Elixir, you'll need to find a path in order to get up there. If you go to the website, there is a list of signs to get up to the rickety stairs leading to the Elixir. You'll be surprised to find a giant skeleton might be lurking behind you. As you walk in, you will be greeted by one of their waiters. They do seat you. The space is pretty small. It is white, cluttered with many, many intellectual properties that will affront you as soon as you walk in. There are a lot of statues. There are beautiful stone walls and wooden walls on some areas with bookshelves and wooden floors and cozy seats like you would have in a library and big wooden tables. So with that vision in mind, here are a few things that I liked going to the Elixir. The stairway and the decor leading up to the speakeasy is very fun and a little spooky. Individually, there are a lot of amazing decor pieces. There are beautiful statues, props, jewelry, and knickknacks. They play bardcore versions of popular music and epic fantasy music. And I really, really loved the foundation of the speakeasy itself with all of the wooden floors and the wooden bar and, the cozy vibe with the bookshelves. They also have a members-only VIP area, which is hidden behind a bookcase. I unfortunately could not get a peek in there, but I did see a lot of people going in there. They also have a fun little wizard test for a small fee, which allows someone to test their magical abilities by catching a smoke bubble on the tip of their wand. If the wand wielder succeeds, they are deemed a wizard, and everyone cheers. And they receive a sticker of one of the Elixir's wizarding houses. Their choice. Things that I didn't like. Something that really broke from my immersion in the speakeasy was the giant TVs playing 3 different movies simultaneously behind the bar. It just really pulled my enjoyment of these big screens versus this dimly lit library vibe. The other thing was this menu was pretty small. Specifically, boba and ice cream specific, the options are still pretty limited unless you get the members exclusive menu. But I feel like you shouldn't have to spend $100 to get access to that. It is also very crowded and cluttered. I felt anxious my entire visit. This falls into the trap that many fantasy immersive hotspots tend to get into, appealing to as many nerdy audiences as possible by cramming as many intellectual properties into one single room. The other squick for a lot of people like me is the amount of heavy use of Harry Potter themes, names, decors, and books. Even for the wizarding tests that they have, they use I solemnly swear in part of it. It pulls away from the fact that they are supposed to be their own wizarding academy, even though they still use a lot of Harry Potter references. The other difficult thing about attending the Elixir is the prices for beverages and ice cream is hefty. It's difficult to justify an $11 to $14 drink with no alcohol in it. And $10 for a couple scoops of ice cream in a glass? For the accessibility, the building is pretty old and is located on the 2nd floor. And unfortunately, the only way up is through a narrow stairway. There's no elevator. The shop is fairly small and pretty cluttered. Moving around is difficult. When I first arrived, it was right at opening, and even then, with nobody else in the building except for employees, I had a tough time moving around. As more people showed up, movement got even trickier, especially because people want to get up and look around and see all the different knickknacks around the building. As for the audience, kids at heart of all ages are welcome to join. Before 9 p.m., any age is welcome to be there, and after 9 p.m., it's 18 plus only. This appeals to all nerdy or geeky audiences who love fantasy. As for my personal recommendations, make sure to check the website for information on how to find the speakeasy. The instructions are pretty clear once you arrive in the parking lot. Arriving at opening will be pretty heavy traffic, but you'll get easier access to better parking and your choice of seating. If you don't like too sweet of treats, make sure to ask the staff for recommendations so you don't try something that you don't like. Make sure that you have plenty of patience. Since a lot is happening, it may take a while for staff to help you. It took me about 30 minutes to get my check so I could come here to speak to all of you. As for the ratings, immersion, I'm gonna give it a 6 out of 10. While it is fully immersive in a world, it couldn't really choose which one. The TVs and the chaotic nature of the decor pulls away from all the work they lovingly put into the speakeasy. If they can focus in on fewer IPs and remove some of the clutter, it would be a much more enjoyable experience. As for the menu, also a 6 out of 10. While the menu is themed and fun, it is pretty minimal and very pricey. I understand the location and the experience factors into the price, but it makes a trip out feel less viable. Value for money, 5 out of 10. The location's traffic to and from the Elixir, the prices, and the anxiety-inducing knick-knack overload makes the experience feel less worth the money. Try it once if you like, but there might not be a second time. As for my overall rating, 5 out of 10. Increasing accessibility and creating more of a cohesive space and less chaos would do wonders for the Elixir. Here's hoping that they can get there. Recommending the Elixir to others is going to be a polite no for now. I feel like if they can remove a lot of the Harry Potter iconography and make it into their own Wizarding Academy and focus on their own houses and the experience and have an alternative to people who really like Harry Potter but want something different, I feel like that would help make people like me more comfortable attending and make it a unique spot. Until next time, remember, never to ask a snail for the weather forecast. Check out our website, immersivexps.com, to join our free Ko-fi, which will have visuals and additional content of the immersive experiences discussed in each episode. If you are an immersive experience artist or creator, no matter how small, consider contacting us so you can take part on a future podcast. This podcast is recorded and produced by SoCal Podcast Studio in Orange County. Thanks for listening.